Today's show is brought to you in part by Rapid River Knife Works, home of Michigan's largest custom knife factory showroom. Warm days and cool nights means it's maple syrup time here in the UP. I had the pleasure of spending a wonderful day at the Paul Family Sugarbush.
On a really good day, we get up to 2 gallons per tap, which would be almost 20,000 gallons in a day.
9 million acres of forest, 1,700 miles of continuous shoreline, 4,300 lakes, 12,000 miles of streams, more than 300 waterfalls, 15 counties, 2 time zones, and 1 area code. Welcome to the Upper Peninsula. Welcome to 906 Outdoors. .906 Outdoors is brought to you by Cooking Wild Seasonings. Make it fresh, make it yours. I traveled to Trout Creek, just east of Bruce Crossing. It's there I visited the Paul Family Sugarbush. Just as the name implies, this is, from top to bottom, a family operation. Jesse, his wife Tracy, along with Austin, Dalton, Priscilla, Bethany, and Mitchell, handle all of the tasks involved in turning sap into syrup, along with other products like sugar, seasoning, and more. We headed straight for the woods for a look at where this pure UP sugar water comes from.
We're still adding additional lines. We're still expanding out here. This is a 5/16 of an inch tubing. This is what we call our lateral lines. They get hooked up to the main lines here. We have almost 10,000 taps on this bush. And we'll show you how we do it here. We're just wrapping this 5/16 line around this tree. Little block tee in there, her little end of the line, with that fitting on there. Get the boys down there to pull, get rid of the slack. And this is where we're going to splice into the main line. This little connector here is going to hang on that wire that suspends the main line. Good.
So right now we're going to drill a hole in here. Ooh, a good vacuum. So I'm going to put this rubber gasket in here to keep the manifold fitting from leaking. So here's what we have here. It's basically a 90 with a bar on the top. So that little part in there fits right in that hole. Okay. There you go.
Alright, so here's what we call the drop line. This is what goes from this tubing here to the tree. There's our actual tap that we put in the tree. So what we're going to do here, this is actually block T, so we use this for the last one on the line. It has, one end is blocked, so that this way sap will not go around the tree here. And the other end is open, so it will go down the line. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in now. See the blocks going around the tree, the open end goes down the line.
So we have nearly 10,000 of these, like I said earlier, 10,000 of these drop lines that connect to these lateral lines that then connect to the main line. And every year we come by and have to replace the spiles with fresh ones. That one little innocent drop of sap is going to gang up with all his buddies. And on a good day, on a really good day, we get up to 2 gallons per tap, which would be almost 20,000 gallons in a day, if you can imagine what 20,000 gallons of sap looks like.
.906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by Blades Bait and Tackle, your hard water connection to Little Beatty Knock.
So here we're at one of the lowest parts in our sugar bush here, and between a little bit of slope, but mainly the gravity pulls all the sap down through our mainline tubing. We try to run about a 26 to 27 inches of mercury or vacuum, and from here we pump it into our 4,000 gallon tank and it's a transfer tank, and from that big tank there it goes underground to the boiling facility, about 3/4 of a mile underground.
So we have 400 gallons of sap in this tank. We're sending it over your way. 25 inches of vacuum, and the sap flow is about a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10.
10-4, thank you. So just heard from the boys out at our East Pump Shack there. They're sending me about 400 gallons of sap, and so it's going to travel about a mile. It's going to come right here where we're standing underground, and it'll go into one of these 2 tanks we have here. These are 4,500 gallon tanks. We have a total storage here at our farm of about 15 to 16,000 gallons of sap.
As I said, this is a family operation. They work together, they make maple syrup together, and they play music together.
In the middle of all this, you throw into something else my wife wanted us to do as a family. We have a family bluegrass band, the Paul Family Bluegrass, paulfamilybluegrass.com. And we play at churches and festivals all over the Midwest. So that's what we do when we're not tapping trees, we're tapping our toes to a little bluegrass music.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So we use our old iron mule here to bring in our firewood off the property. We use about 35 full cords of firewood on an average year to make all the syrup we need to make. We're getting ready to fire up the reverse osmosis machine for today, and every day we change the pre-filters in it. This reverse osmosis machine will remove up to about 3/4 of the water from the sap, which makes our boiling time a whole lot less. It makes for a nicer, lighter syrup. So from the reverse osmosis machine, it gets pumped up into our head tank up top. We have 500 gallons of concentrate, and from there it'll come down through these pipes. There's a preheater in the steam hood here that'll preheat the sap before coming through the float and going in this flue channel, this flue pan we have here. Now, flue pan basically has a whole bunch of channels that go up and down, and if you were to pull them out, it would probably be about 8 times larger than what you see here. It's almost like accordioned in, which gives it a lot more cooking surface. So most of the work on this evaporator is done right here in the flue pan. From our flue pan, it comes into another float box and just graduates with all these channels and these different finish pans. It just graduates, a gradient flow we call it, until it comes out here as a finished product. And during the cooking process, we're constantly taking measurements with hygrometers to make sure that we meet the 66.5% sugar coming out, and that's how we know it's syrup. So on this particular evaporator, we have 3 different stacks up here. The first 2 are just simply to remove the steam. The last one would be for the fire. That'd be the smokestack.
And what you normally see when we're making syrup, or when a syrup maker's making syrup, is the steam coming from one of the first two stacks. Sometimes there's only one, but in our case we have two. Just what you normally see is steam, which is just basically water that's evaporated off, that's rising up. Every day, depending on the barometric pressure, the boiling point of water changes a little bit. So our thermometers are for syrup get calibrated every day before we boil. So the boiling point of water is 212, and for syrup, it's going to be on average about 219, depending on the barometric pressure that day. And so we use these here to measure the different heats until we get finally to our final pan, which is our finish pan, our draw-off pan. So we monitor the heat in all the different finish pans to make sure that, that the flow is going correctly.
906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by Christ, your Northwoods neighborhood store.
We're going to make a lot of syrup here in a hurry. She's got to break over. That's right. There we go, first syrup of the day. As it draws off into this tank here, the cooking process releases a lot of niter. It's just kind of mineral deposits, just kind of gritty. So we're used to our table syrup in America now to be filtered. So we run it through this filter press here. There's a whole bunch of papers that collect all the mineral deposits, niter or sugar sand. So when we're finished at the end, after it goes through all these banks and filters, is a filtered, very clean product that we store in stainless steel barrels until we bottle it at a later time. One of the job perks we have here at Paul Family Sugarbush is we get to sample every single barrel, and sometimes we sample 2 or 3 times just for quality control. That's good.
So we sterilize the barrels with the steam water that comes from all the steam that hits the roof of that. It all comes down to this little channel in here that goes down to this, which goes into the barrel, sterilize the barrel. So after that, we put the cap on the barrel, we roll it on the ground, and then we open it up and it's sterilized. Yeah, it's always a good feeling when you put the cap on one of these. Yes, sir. That's nice of you, yes, sir. So right now I'm getting these sample bottles together, and these sample bottles tell us a lot. They tell us the color of the syrup, how light it is. For different colors, you have golden delicate, you have amber, and dark. So the reason why we keep these sample bottles is for quality control, and if somebody wants to sample the barrel, we'll just crack this open and let them have a little try. We keep them for 3 years. Yeah, the old system of doing it was you would have all these different samples of dark and light. So now we have this little checker here, and that tells us the whole thing. It's a lot more accurate. And I'm gonna wipe this down because each little fingerprint could throw the reader off. And this is gonna tell us how light or how dark it is. So that would be an amber rich. So that would be right in between these two, right here. So we put the drum number on here so we could always tell how light the syrup was in that drum that we produced. Yeah, you can tell that first one, the second barrel, is a little lighter than the sixth one. So we keep these in the freezer, and we keep these for 3 years also. So.
We also make maple sugar and maple cream. We use this mixture here. We take the syrup down to 260 degrees and we put it in this mixer. So we get all the remaining moisture out of it, and it comes out the consistency like this. And this would be a 1 pound bag of sugar. This machine here is what we use to make our maple cream with. It gets boiled to 234 degrees, puts in an ice bath, and then we put it in here. And this gear pump just pulls and stretches the taffy into a maple cream. And this is what a jar of our maple cream looks like here. Here's our spice rub. We use this for grilling. It goes good on anything. Crock pot meals. Yeah, it's another big seller for us. So it's really good barbecue rub. Something that we take very serious. We're humbled and honored, and it's a big responsibility to know that we put about 4,000 gallons of maple syrup on America's breakfast table. And that's something we do take very serious, and we do not skimp on the quality of it.
906 Outdoors is brought to you by Race Driven, your source for premier power sports products.
When the sky is getting dark and the clouds are moving in, when the storms of life fill our hearts with pain, just let the Savior in. For when we trust in Him, He will lead us beyond the rain.
So we've been blessed with 5 kids, and we wanted to do something together that would just be beneficial for the family and give the kids something positive to do. So my wife actually was the one who said, you know, let's do a farm. It'd be great to have a farm. So here we are down in sunny Florida thinking, UP sounds like a great idea, lots of maples. So the family had this vision, and wanted to come up, and we all wanted to come up and try our hand at maple syrup. It was a family vision that we had to come up and farm, and we spent 6 months at least just every day looking for the right piece of land, and it was hard. It was discouraging. We didn't even think we were going to find it, but we settled out here in Trout Creek, and we have right now 10,000 taps this year. We're hoping to make 4,000 gallons of syrup. We have enough trees out here to go up to 15,000, 16,000 maybe here shortly. And there's plenty of room for expansion here for the family to stay on and just expand and grow the business. So it was a vision we had to move from Florida to come up here and do that. And most people originally or initially think we're crazy, but then they start thinking about it and they know it's a good life, and they're in favor of it.
Beyond the rain, beyond the rain, there'll be no more dying, no more crying, no more pain.
So at Paul Family, it truly is. It's not just the name of our business, Paul Family, but family is really important to us, especially with what's going on in our country and culture where the family's falling apart. So when we say Paul Family, it's because it truly is a family business. We have, like I said, 5 children, and everybody's doing something, including my wife. She handles all the bookkeeping and accounting for us, keeps that running. She's the homeschooler. She teaches all her children. The little ones, they help with the chicken chores all the way up. She's Bethany's 7. She sings with the band now. Going on up, Priscilla, she fits in everywhere. She'll help us load the arch, help us with the syrup operation, helps make meals. She's Tracy's right hand, and then Dalton, the next one on up. Boy, if you see him around here, he's always fixing something for us because I tend to always break it. That's just how it goes. So he's always fixing things. He's our mechanic. He's also very good with the whole syrup production. And he's still schooling very hard too. So that guy pulls a lot of extra duty. And then you have Austin. He's 19 currently. He plays resonator dobro for us, and he helps very much with the music, putting that together, the arrangements. But he is very, very hands-on with the whole Sugarbush operation. He runs the reverse osmosis machine for us. He backs me up on cooking. So I mean, this is his full-time job. And so when we say Paul Family Sugarbush, it truly is a family, and everybody has something to contribute.
He will lead us beyond the rain.
So, and looking ahead down the line or down the road, I mean, I don't know what the Lord's going to give us, but I do know that there's opportunity here, and the boys have shown an interest in it. And I mean, we're up here; they love it, and so we're looking to expand and for them to take over as Tracy and I find a little cabin on the lake somewhere.
We're not telling them where.
Yeah, we're not telling them where.
He will lead us beyond the rain.
Feel free to join us on Facebook or visit us at 906outdoors.com. And while you're there, be sure to sign up to get on the 906 Outdoors email list. Thanks for watching, and we invite you to join us next week for another adventure right here on 906 Outdoors.